rugby. I know we've done a lot of football, so we may as well talk about the Masters, one of the best events in sport. This week, obviously, people get to see our pretty faces on the on YouTube. We're recording this for all the fans. Harvey's got his little goatee and his bucket hat, channeling his inner Liam Gallagher.
Yeah, bit of Movember going on, mate.
So have I, mate. But I don't think that anyone would notice it in the on the screen. It's more of a bum fluff on the top of the lip. But yeah, let's get stuck into the golf chestnut. Then. That old chestnut. I think. Well, it's the first time I think the Masters has ever been in November. I think that's for sure. Obviously, 2020 is a weird year. I don't know. So obviously, Augusta, beautiful place. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but it's looking stunning. Sort of the autumnal leaves. I think it's a bit colder than it normally is in April, but supposedly going to be a bit wet this week. I think maybe a bit softer than usual. I mean, I can't wait to watch it. But what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Augusta is a beautiful golf course. Obviously, it's a members only. They're not called fans; they're called patrons, so they're not going to be there. But yeah, I mean, there's been a weather predicted for the Thursday, which makes things interesting. But I've been actually speaking to someone that plays a lot better golf than I do. He's what do you call him? A English pro.
I think he's
pro.
He's a pro. He's a good golfer. A lot better than me and you.
Yeah, very. Yeah. I think if me and thee had one of them cheat clubs, I think we'd still lose. So I've been chatting to him about sort of how that would affect the course come sort of this time of year, and the overriding thing he said is the ball control. So if it's wet, there's mud on the ball, you can't be as accurate with it. You don't know how the greens are going to play. So that sort of, that makes it a very interesting watch. Without doing a lot. Obviously, the Masters is a great spectacle for golf fans, but adding in it playing in these sort of conditions, I mean, I can't wait.
Yeah, I think it adds something different, doesn't it? Because obviously we're used to the April weather, and obviously it's something different that the fans aren't expecting. I mean, obviously there's no fans there at the Masters this year, which is going to be a crying shame. Obviously we've missed out on a lot of major tournaments. I know the US Open and the US PGA's happened, but obviously we lost the British Open and the Ryder Cup didn't happen, which is obviously a fan's favourite. So I think it'll be a bit different without the fans, but it's going to be an interesting one to see. I mean, obviously Bryson DeChambeau is going ahead as the favourite, coming off his US Open win. There's rumours, I think, I'm not 100% sure at this moment, but there's rumours of him taking that 48-inch Pro-Type driver shaft. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I heard he was hitting it 400, carrying it 400 yards on the range the other day. I mean, if he can go around hitting bombs like that, he can sort of, from all that I understand, he can sort of take the fairways and everything out of play. I know accuracy is important at Augusta, but yeah, it's going to be super exciting to see how Bryson goes and hitting those bombs. Something for the fans that they can enjoy sat at home.
Yeah, I mean, just on that, is this going to be the start of the new era of golf? I mean, is DeChambeau going to come and just take everything out? I mean, why Augusta's so good is for the purists, there's no rough. So yeah, it is probably one of the best golf courses to watch these sort of players play on. But if you're in at 400 yards, you can have all the rough in the world. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, that's it. I mean, it's how he can attack the pins. I was looking at a couple of stats, and obviously the 79% of fairways are hit on average by the Masters winners, and Bryson this year has been hitting 58%. So it seems like it's a golf course that the longer hitters have sort of fared well. I mean, everyone says that the Masters was always Rory's biggest chance of winning a major at the start of his career. Obviously, he hits a big ball, and there's famously Bubba Watson won back in 2012 and 2014, and obviously smokes it. Try and pride my game on him a little bit as a left-handed boomer. To no success, obviously. But no, it'd be interesting to see how Bryson takes on the course. Obviously, he out at the Whistling Straits, he sort of outdrove everything and was happy to take a wedge from wherever he landed. He'd rather be in the rough taking a wedge. And it's going to be good to see how he goes. I mean, he's the bookies' favourite, and I think a lot of people fancy him. And I mean, I'm not his biggest fan, but he plays golf in a different style, and it's interesting to watch as a fan from your couch.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at him, the transformation. I mean, I made the stupid mistake of when he won his first sort of big event on Facebook, right? I commented saying, well done, Bryson. It's great for the game of golf. And I got absolute dog's abuse from these celebrities in America that are just giving me all sorts, saying he's ruining golf. And I think, he's completely changed the way that we look. We're talking about is Bryson DeChambeau. Is he going to win? He's absolutely, he's done bits. Like, regardless of, I hate his slow play. He is a bit of a tit, but he can golf, and he, all college golfers now hit the ball a country mile because they know that is the way to get on the tour. That is how to get up the rankings.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He definitely comes across as a bit of a mule, but he's changing. I don't know if he's changing the game, but he's bringing something new to it. Obviously, Tiger Woods, with his introduction in the mid to late 90s, sort of famously took over sort of the game of golf. And I don't think Bryson's going to have the same impact in terms of a superstar, the way that sponsors want to get behind him. But the way that the golf is maybe played, you look at the way that cricket was taken with the introduction of T20. A lot of people over the years have said, don't take drivers off the tee, for instance, for amateurs and stuff. Just sort of be accurate. But it could be that we see a shift from golf and sort of the way that people play it. Let's worry less about accuracy and more about just hit it as far as you can, which would be good to see. But he's not the only favourite in terms of he is the bookies' favourite. Obviously, there's loads in contention, and obviously Dustin Johnson's second. I think he's in decent form this year. Last year he came one shot behind Tiger with a score of 12 under. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes. Yeah. Sort of, I think, is he the world number one at the moment? I think he's always up there, isn't he? Dustin, obviously, him and Rory and Brooks have always been up in the top few. For me, Dustin Johnson's got a massive shout of it this weekend. But who are you looking forward to seeing of those top of the pack?
I mean, for me, obviously, Bryson, just to see how that plays out. Johnson as well. I mean, he hits the ball a country mile. I mean, it's quite simplistic sort of reviewing this, but all these top sort of golfers that are knocking about, they all hit the ball incredibly hard. And I just think that I quite fancy Lee Westwood actually. He's someone that sort of, the course is suited to his sort of play style. He's a consistent golfer.
Yeah, he's always been a nearly man, though, hasn't he? Throughout his career.
Yeah,
he's got a couple of second places. Exactly. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Lee Westwood. Maybe he's always a good bet for an each way, isn't he? I mean, I'm just looking at sort of his odds for this weekend. He's coming in at 80 to 1. So obviously he's not, the bookies don't fancy him, but you get each way at that. I mean, that's at fives. What's that? It's around about 15 to 1 each way. I think Sky Bet are paying, a lot of people playing 11 places.
10.
So 10, 11 places. So there's good value on Lee Westwood at each way. And obviously I think he's had quite a lot of top 10 at the Masters. And he's a good bet. But what about Rory? I mean, he's got one more to complete the career Grand Slam. You look at it and think he's won all the others. Back in 2011, 9 years ago, famously, obviously was 4 shots clear on the last day, 1 shot clear going into the back 9 and finished 15th, I think. Didn't even make the top 10. One of the biggest crumbles we've seen on a golf course. Hope for me, I've got Rory in a sweepstakes, so I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I was going to say that was his second biggest crumble. His first biggest crumble was trying to get married and then bottling it a couple of weeks before the wedding day. So he's obviously got previous history of that.
he's a bottleless
with the old tennis player. Yeah, he's got form of bottling it. So but he interestingly actually on Sporting Life, they usually there or thereabouts with their betting tips, and they've actually tipped Rory McIlroy as their second tip for the week. So they're taking him on at each way, which is interesting really. I wouldn't have thought that he would be their fancy each way. And then another lad called Cameron Champ, he's tipped up, as at 80 to 1 again. If you're looking for value,
I just think on the each way that.
Value, if you're paying 10 places, you want to back sort of 5 golfers. For my limited, I'm an losing, so don't take this as gospel. But if you're going to have a bet on the golf, you want to take a couple of outsiders, because if the weather does come, then it's anyone's game. And I'm personally not going to be taking DeChambeau on at that price. I think it's too short for paying 10 places.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, if you go for an each way bet, you've got to look at it. I mean, Sky Bet are playing out this hot shots thing, where if you for however many birdies they get in the front for the first round, you get a £3 bet. So obviously there's a lot of advantages to having on that. I mean, you're looking at it, Bryson, Dustin and John Rahm are all under 10s. I mean, John Rahm's second, I think, in rankings. He's on fire. He's sort of, I think he's second or third. Him and Justin Thomas seem to be the form players. You look at sort of, they both finished in the top 2 at the Zorro Championships. So it'd be interesting to see how they go. But in terms of, I think you've got to be looking at anywhere past 20-1 for the each way. Obviously, if you're looking for the top sort of 6 or 7 golfers, there's Brooks who's in at 12-1. And for me, Brooks hasn't played for 3 months. He got injured in August and he hasn't played since. So I think he's far too short for the value that's there. So I'd be ignoring Brooks. And obviously Rory recently came out and said that he didn't think he was good enough to win a major. So maybe he's bluffing, maybe he's not. But for me, I think if you're going for a winner, an outright winner, one of Justin Thomas and John Rahm, Dustin Johnson and Bryson sort of for your winner only. But if you're looking for a bit of value, obviously for me, I'm a big Bubba Watson fan, as I mentioned earlier. He's at 25-1. I've got him on myself. And obviously you look at Colin Morikawa, who won the USPGA, 23 years old. He's making his debut in the Ryder Cup in the Masters, and he's at 25-1. But interestingly, only 3 rookies have ever won the Masters, and no one since 1979. Right. So for me, a lot of people have sort of fancied him this week, but I think look at that, sort of no rookies have done well. I know he's a young major winner already, but for me, I'd be avoiding Morikawa just for the simple fact that history tells you experience around Augusta sort of plays a part.
Yeah, I mean, it just proves how difficult the course is if there's been no rookies really winning it. I think it's the old course and distance model. You need someone that's been around a couple of times. Now, we caveat this: there's going to be no fans, so I don't think in golf no fans really makes that much of a difference, other than sort of a Ryder Cup atmosphere. But if you're coming in, the back 9 and you've got a chance of winning and you're a rookie and there's no one screaming you on, you'd be able to keep your adrenaline in check just a bit better than you would with all them. Well, I don't want to upset our American friends because we do have a few American listeners, but yeah, American golf fans are a different breed.
Mashed potato. No, absolutely.
But interestingly enough, George is in a. I was going to say, interestingly enough, George is in a spot of controversy anyway, because they reckon they've gone blue this year, which is.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, it's Georgia, isn't it? Obviously famous for going blue. The Democrats versus the Republicans. I mean, we won't be talking about your mate Donald. I mean, I know you've been crying for the last week since the election night. Your best friend Donald. But no, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, as I say, another interesting stat I saw that the last 6 winners all came from inside the top 11. So sort of history tells you that a form player is going to win the Masters. So for me, it's going to be one of the top 4 that I mentioned earlier. But who knows? Obviously, Patrick Cantley won the Zorro Championship, didn't he, just a few weeks ago? So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But obviously, let us know in the comments or on Twitter or Instagram who you fancy. Give us your predictions. Get involved. I mean, Masters Sunday is a great thing to watch. There's no Premier League this weekend, so it's something we can all enjoy. And obviously it'd be nice to see. Who knows? Tiger Woods might win again. I mean, I doubt it. I think he's obviously not on form, but last year was one of the best sporting moments of 2019, really, wasn't it? And obviously it'd be good to see Tiger hand that green jacket over to Rory McIlroy to win his career Grand Slam. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to follow who are your 2 picks, Harry?
So my pick to win is Justin Thomas, and my outside bet for a bit of value is Corey Connors. I know that's he came in the top 10 at the Corey Connors, exactly who. I fancied him. I read about him a couple of weeks ago. I watched a bit of him and I saw him and I just thought maybe he's got a chance here. He was at 200-1. He's down to 100-1 now. So I got him at each 1. So obviously that comes in at 4. I think I had £5 on it each way, so I think it's 40-1. So yeah, it's £100 if he's in the top 11. So that'll be good to see. What about you? Obviously, you need a bit of value bet. I think you've gone for Lee Westwood, haven't you, as a bit of an each way?
Yeah. So I've taken Lee Westwood and a fella and Champ each way. I was just trying to check the odds on Camp's about 80-1. And then what did you say Westwood was last time we checked?
Westwood's 80s and Cameron Champ is 55s. So you're getting more than 10 to 1 from
Yeah,
each.
so I mean, you can shop around. I mean, I've got 80s for Cameron Champ, but I haven't actually backed Westwood yet. But that's interesting that he's obviously moved in a bit on the betting market. But just have a punt if you want. If not, it's going to be a great spectacle either way.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it, and obviously, can't wait to enjoy it on Sunday and see what happens. And we'll probably be back next week to make ourselves look stupid. Tiger Woods will win it, who we've all said has got no chance.
No, when you say, you wrote off Brooks Koepka and he's going to win by about eight or nine shots. Well